Hello and welcome to another Firefly beading tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a leather choker with a button clasp. You can use a metal button or a bone button like I'm going to be using. This is going to be a similar necklace to what I'm showing you here, and it's going to work like this, except I'm going to show you how to make it adjustable. Some tools you're going to need are a ruler, 3 basic pliers, so your round nose, your chain nose, and some cutters or scissors. Your beads of choice, your leather, which you need about 1.5 yards of your color of choice. Some large hole beads like this, or beads with a bail on it. And then a button, either a 2-hole button or a 1-hole button, or a shank like this. If you want to make a bail of your own like this by doing a wire wrap on a bead of your choice, I'm going to show you how to do that now using this headpin. So you're going to put the headpin in the bead and grab your round nose pliers. Grab it towards the end and push the wire away from you. Then you're going to turn your pliers, go inside the pliers a bit, and push the wire towards you. Turn your pliers down and pull the wire to the left and around. And you want this circle here to be big enough to fit 2 pieces of the leather through. So then I'm going to start by coiling, or finish by coiling my wire tail tightly all the way down to the top of my bead. And then I'm going to snip off the tail with some flush cutters. And then squish down any little nub there might be. And this is just an easy way to create a bail. You want to check and make sure it fits through, and it does. So you're ready to get started. It's a good way to do your favorite bead or whatever if it doesn't already have a hanger on it. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to find the middle of my leather by putting my 2 ends together like this. I'm going to choose my first button. So if I have a 2-hole button, I'll put 1 piece of leather through either side. If I have a 1-hole button like this, I'm just going to put it through the middle. If I have a 2-hole button, I'm going to bring it all the way down, but with my 1-hole, I'm just going to create an overhand knot like this. So over the hand and under, and I'm going to make it a double, so I'm going to go under 1 more time. And I'm going to pull this knot tight. So again, if I had a 2-hole bead, I wouldn't be doing this first step. I would have pulled everything down to the middle. But with my 1-hole bead, I'm going to do this knot as the stopper knot. 1-hole button, I mean. I'm just making sure everything's tight, and then I'm going to cut off, leaving about, I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch hanging off the end here, so about right here. And then I'm going to slide my button all the way down, and I'm going to create another overhand knot. So over and under. And then carefully, I'm going to slide this knot to the bottom of my button. Just pull everything kind of tight, push it up against there good, and you could pull each cord just to make sure everything is tight. This will just prevent the button from sliding around too much. So now we're ready to add on our bead, and for this one I'm going to add on this pearl right here. And it doesn't matter where you position this right now. And I'm going to leave mine so it slides around kind of thing. So now the next part we're going to create so we just did our button, and now we're going to create our first knot here for our button loop. So basically our clasp end. And to do this, I want this to be a shorter necklace, probably closer to a choker. So some people like to do 16-inch for a short necklace. I'm going to actually make it a little bit less and make it about a 15-inch necklace. So that's where I want my first knot to be here. So keeping both cords kind of taut and even, I'm going to do an overhand knot, and I'm not going to pull it tight yet. I'm just going to pull it down about at that 15 mark, and I'm going to check it against the ruler again. And gently pull down that knot so I can get approximately to that 15-inch mark. And then I'm going to pull pretty tight. So now we're going to create the loop that the button will fit into. And it's about an inch right here. You just want it to be able to fit through, and that includes with the little nubby leather sticking on the outside. So you need plenty of room for your button to slide in easily, but not so much room that your button slides out easily, if that makes sense. So I just did another overhand, and now I'm going to not pull it tight, but kind of test it, make sure that this size will fit with that bead, and it does, so I'm going to pull it tight now. So I've got my first buttonhole, and I could cut it off, like right here, like the example necklace, but I'm going to actually make this adjustable. That means I'm going to put one more buttonhole here, so that the wearer could have it at 15 inches, or they could wear it at 16 inches. And I've seen people put up to 3 of these here, so you could adjust it several times if you wanted to. But I'm just going to keep it like this and pull everything tight, and making sure that everything is spaced out evenly. Then I'll cut off, leaving again about 1/4 of an inch of a tail. Now another way to do this is to use what's called a button shank. With this one, I'm just going to slide it right onto one side of the cording and pull it down to the middle. And to find the middle, I line up my 2 ends of cording, and then pull everything kind of tight and evenly down to the middle. And once I'm down in the middle area here, I'm going to create a double overhand knot. So I'm going to go over, under, and then under again. And this is just going to create a little bit of a longer knot to kind of hold everything in place and to kind of catch that buttonhole a little bit easier too. So you're just going to slide that up, and you want it pretty tight against there, but it's okay if your button moves around a little bit, your shank there. And then all we're going to do is add on our next beads, and I think I'm going to do some large hole beads on this one, and I want to put 3 together. Maybe I could do 1 of these, but I think I'm going to do 3 of these check glass beads. And again, I could knot on either side of these if I wanted to find the middle and knot it, but I don't mind to have these kind of floating around on this choker. So again, I think I'm going to make this a 15-inch necklace. I'm going to find the 15-inch mark here. And put my 1 overhand knot right there. So over and under, pull, but not too tight, check again. Then pull everything tight right around that 15-inch mark. Looks good. And now I'm going to create my hole, so I'm going to go down about 1 inch, or at least long enough that the button can fit through. So again, you can test it and make sure, or you can kind of eyeball it. It's probably always a good idea to test it, but I know for this, you can do it about 1 inch or so, which is what I've got here. And I'm going to make it adjustable, so I'm going to do 1 more overhand and put it approximately the same distance apart. So I should have 3 knots here. Just going to pull everything tight, make sure my knots look pretty and cute. And then I'm going to snip off the end, again leaving 1/4 of an inch. Now these necklaces are pretty easy to make, and they're great if you have metal allergies. You don't have to use any metal in these at all. So our first button I used was a bone button, so no metal. This one obviously here is metal, but you can see how, if you have somebody who's severely allergic to metals, that this is a good alternative, a good piece to make them. If your leather is kind of coiled up because it's been on a spool, you can kind of play around with it until the leather starts to relax, and it will, and it might take some time, but just keep playing around with it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to learn more techniques like this, please hit like or subscribe to our channel to learn more. Thank you, and happy beading from us at Firefly.